Hey everyone, I'm Pippa, and what I'm about to share with you could save you months, maybe even years of confusion, overwhelm, and second guessing on your journey to becoming a business analyst. Now, I don't say that lightly because if you've been trying to figure out how to break into business analysis, or if you've already landed a role and you're wondering, why does this still feel so hard? This is the video I wish someone had made for me when I was starting out, right? So take a breath and stay with me. So I've been thinking a lot about simplicity, right? Why we overlook simplicity, why we struggle to trust it, and why we tend to believe that more complex equals to more valuable, right? I was listening to the same book that I talked about in my previous video, Same as Ever by Morgan Housel, track 26. And it was like he held up a mirror to me because everything he was saying, it felt like a quiet truth that I've known for years, but I never had a language for. I didn't know how to articulate it, right? So let's start then. So he tells this story about cancer research, right? About how some of the smartest people in the world have been trying to solve cancer for decades, right? And yet, one of the top researchers admitted that getting people to stop smoking would actually do more to reduce cancer than anything, right? That he could ever do in the lab. But that's not intellectually stimulating, right? It's not groundbreaking. It's not glamorous, right? So even though it works, it's often ignored, right? And I thought, yep, that's exactly what happens in business analysis. Give me time. Let me explain why I thought that. So every day I see people in BA roles or people who are trying to get into BA roles who are stuck in the noise. They are learning more tools, learning more frameworks, learning more techniques, more certifications. It's just frustrating, right? Because somewhere along the way, they picked up this idea that the more complicated their knowledge, the more legitimate their career. But I'll just say there are no points awarded for difficulty. If you're working twice as hard to make your job look clever, to feel intellectual, you're not doing it better. You're probably doing it slower. So let me give you a real example. A few years ago, I had a mentee, a new business analyst. She was full of enthusiasm, right? She spent weeks designing these ultra complex requirements templates, full of colors, conditionals, embedded logic, everything. It was a beautiful document, right? And she was so proud of it, and it looked impressive. But eventually, no one used it. The stakeholders didn't understand it. The dev, they ignored it, and in the end, it didn't really deliver anything valuable, right? She could have written a few words, a few bullet points, and she would have had more impact. And I see this happen all the time. As humans, we crave more complexity. We confuse it with quality. And then we end up over-preparing, over-processing, overthinking. But the thing is, most of what works in business analysis is actually pretty simple. It's asking clear questions. It's listening carefully, right? It's documenting what somebody said without twisting it into jargon. It's communicating with different people in ways that make sense to them. It's understanding process. It's writing things down so that they're useful, not just impressive, right? But to us, it doesn't feel right enough, right? It doesn't really feel all right. That's why I created my program, and that's why I'm talking about it in this video, because it helps people stop getting lost in the noise and helps them to focus on 3 to 12 things that actually move your BA career forward, right? Because you don't need to learn 50 things. You don't need to learn 100 things. You just need to master the right few things. So Morgan Housel has this great line in the chapter. When you first start to study a field, it seems like you have to memorize a zillion things. You don't. What you need is to identify the core principles, generally 3 to 12 of them, that govern the field. That is exactly what I believe about business analysis as well. And this is why my program isn't just about giving you more content, right? It's about helping you to filter, to cut through the overwhelm, and to get really good at what actually matters, right? Because when you know what to focus on, everything changes. Your interviews feel clearer. Your CV reads sharper. Your conversations with stakeholders are stronger. And then you stop trying to prove that you're smart and you start showing up as someone who actually gets things done. But I get it. Simplicity can feel risky, right? We're taught that if something is short or easy to explain, it must be missing something. Something is missing, right? But Halto talks about this in his book. He talks about how in academia, if a lecture is too clear, the audience feel cheated, right? As if clarity means you haven't tried hard enough. Isn't that wild? It's quite wild. But it happens in the workplace too, right? We try to impress our peers, we try to impress our managers, clients, recruiters, and so we use the bigger words, the longer decks, more frameworks. We add things because we think they show effort, right? But honestly, most of it is just a filler words, filler things, right? Effort isn't measured by how hard it looks. It's measured by the results that it actually delivers, right? So one of the reasons my well-paid BA program works well, why people land 60K, 70K, 80K roles as part of my program, is not just because I flood them with complexity. There's nothing complex about the program. It's because we simplify, we strip away the noise, we focus on the essential steps, 5 essential steps. Step 1 is to identify your transferable skills, the real ones, not the buzzwords, right? Step 2 is to learn the BA fundamentals, the processes, the stakeholder engagement, writing clear user stories, facilitating conversations that actually matter, learning the tools. Step 3 is to gain project experience through case studies that teach real-world thinking, not theoretical things, not too theoretical. Step 4 is to optimize your CV and LinkedIn, right? Positioning you to be seen even without direct experience. And finally, step 5 is to apply and interview with confidence, knowing that you've actually done the work and you can speak to it like a pro. That's it. That's all you need. It's not fancy, okay? But it works. And it works fast. Now, I'm not saying complexity is always bad, right? Some things really are nuanced, right? Some problems do require depth and patience, right? But most of what holds people back in this career isn't lack of intelligence. It's too much distraction, too many tabs open, too much trying to sound clever instead of being clear, right? If that's you, if you've been studying, if you've been learning, if you've been watching videos, if you've been downloading templates, but you still feel unsure, this might actually be the shift that you need, right? It's not that you don't know enough, it's that you haven't been taught how to focus on the right things, right? And that is what I'd love to help you do. I'm sure you've been watching my videos for years, you've learned so much, but if you want to finally cut through the noise and build a career that pays well and feels solid career, right? Without pretending that you're an academic or without needing hundreds and hundreds of certifications, book a call with me, right? Click the link in the description. No pressure, no script, just a conversation, right? We'll talk about where you're at, what's holding you back, and whether my program is a good fit for you. So the link is in the description, and even if you don't book, I want you to remember this, right? There are no extra points for difficulty. You don't have to suffer to be taken seriously. You don't have to overcomplicate to be respected. Simplicity is not weakness, it's mastery. So maybe today is the day that you stop trying to look smart and start becoming effective. Thanks for watching. As always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video. You never know who it might help. And I'll see you in my next one. Peace.